You want better cold call results? Well, stop cold calling. And I don't mean stop calling people you don't know. Stop banging your head against the wall until you can't take it anymore because there is a better way. And it's funny, yeah. And I'm going to tell you what one of our clients did. Tim wanted to land a short list of dream clients, real businesses, and the kind that change your year if you close even one. So he didn't call. He mailed them each a pizza cutter. No letter, no logo, no, here's who I am. Just a nice pizza cutter showing up on their desk. A few days later, he calls up and the receptionist goes, "Oh my God, I got the pizza cutter guy on the line." Because he goes, "Hey, I'm Tim. And I have this, I'm the guy who sent you the pizza cutter." She's like, "What? Hold on. I got to get everybody. Hey, why did you send us a pizza cutter?" Local IT guy. And I wanted to come visit you, bring you guys some pizza. And so I brought you a pizza cutter. So you want to set up a time for Friday? Can I buy you guys lunch? And then next thing you know, there he was, the pizza cutter guy.
That's the whole episode right there. Just send pizza cutters, everybody. Most MSPs think that they have two ways to get clients, right? There's mode one, blast out thousands of cold emails and hope something sticks. It won't. Mode two, cold call everyone and their mother until somebody caves. And both of them leave you in this bottom feeding, most price sensitive client area, right? You go to the bottom of the market. They're the ones who are going to pick the cheapest MSP always. And the point about Tim is he didn't do either one. He just made a warm call to a prospect that he actually wanted. I'm Jeff Lair.
And I'm Joe Rojas, and I built and sold 3 MSPs. And the best clients I ever landed didn't come from cold calls. They came from showing up over and over and over until they knew my name, my face. They knew what my car looked like. And today I'm going to show you how to do that on purpose. So by the time that you call, they're glad that it's you.
And we will prove the thing that Joe just said. As a small shop, you don't win by shouting louder than the big guys. And you cannot shout louder than them. You win by picking a small number of dream clients and out caring everyone else in trying to reach them. And there's a name for it. It's called the Dream 100.
And let's be honest about what cold outreach actually feels like. You buy a list, you blast out a few hundred cold emails, and you go after them and you make 50 calls, and all that comes back is not interested, not into, oh, worse than that, they just hang up right in your face. Or we already have an IT guy. I'm like, why the aggression? You get a whole lot of silence, right? So you decide cold calling is dead and you go back to waiting for referrals. I did that for years and years.
There's another problem with this is then you can call everybody, you can call somebody a million times. Like I accidentally, Joe, put my phone number into, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I put it in the thing and like I clicked the button and 2 minutes later I got a call and now I'm getting like 10 calls a day from this number. They use like 3 different numbers. I eventually blocked it, but I'm never going to buy from that person. If they're that insecure about their product, forget about it, right? There's no way that I'm going to buy from somebody who has annoyed the crap out of me. So anyway, here's why it feels rigged, because it is rigged, right? You outreach at volume is a numbers game, and a numbers game rewards whoever can pay the most, whoever can play the most numbers and pay the most to play. And that's not you. I'm sorry. I know that we don't know each other well, but I'm pretty sure that you don't have millions of dollars to spend on outreach. And the big national players, they have a sales team, they have a marketing budget, they have an auto dialer. And if the game is who can send the most messages and who can spend the most on marketing, you're going to lose before you start. You cannot out spam the market.
And the spam is everywhere now. Every business owner you want to reach is already is coming out of their eyeballs, their ears, their nostrils. This is everywhere. Cold emails, LinkedIn pitches, robocalls, the works, everything you can imagine. Their whole day is learning to ignore people who want something from them.
And the language, you can even tell from the language that MSP owners use to talk about this. I'm a tech, I'm not a salesperson. Cold calling is dead. Referrals aren't a reliable strategy, but it's all I've got. There's helplessness in there. And it comes
Yeah.
from believing that there are only two options: spray cold outreach you hate, or sit and wait for the phone to ring. And both are bad. And there's a third way. And it's the opposite of volume.
And the third way is my favorite way because it's an inch wide, 50 miles deep. You go all the way. Instead of 1,000 strangers you'll never reach, you pick the 100 businesses you actually want to work with. And then you invest everything you would have wasted on spray and pray into warming those 100 up. The quality of attention all day long. Listen carefully, write this down. Quality of attention beats quantity of attempts every single time, especially when you're small, when you're boutique, especially then.
And there's something to keep in mind when we're talking about spend and the fact that you have to spend more than someone else, right? But by concentrating your spend, you are able to do that. By only spending on the top 10 of your top 100, you can really concentrate that spend. You can make it meaningful.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a number beneath this that also matters, right? There's actual studies here, right? It takes somewhere between 8 and 10 touches for a prospect to actually remember who you are. And one cold call is a touch, right? You're asking a stranger to buy on the touch where they don't even know your
Yes.
name yet. So no wonder it doesn't work, right? There's no trust. And so it's not necessarily that calling someone you don't know is broken. The timing is broken.
And that's right. The problem was never the call itself. It
Yeah.
was you're making the call, or I'm making the call, we're making the call way too early to way too many people with way too little behind it. There's nothing. They have no idea who you are. So let's just fix the timing. Let's make sure that by the time that you pick up the phone and call them, you're not a cold caller. You're the pizza cutter guy.
So the reframe that makes this small MSP impossible to ignore, and then exactly how to build your dream 100. Here's the reframe: stop trying to reach everyone, start trying to be unforgettable to a few. And the strategy is called the Dream 100. It goes back to Chet Holmes, and the idea is dead simple. So you identify the small number of dream clients who would absolutely transform your business, who you absolutely want to work with, and then concentrate all of your marketing energy on just them until they can't help but know you and want to buy.
And that's the whole idea, that they get to know you and want to buy because they know who you are. They see your name and they're like, oh, I know this guy. He's been talking about all the things that are important to me.
Yeah. And it
And
turns your biggest weakness into your advantage because you can't
yeah,
outspend the big guys on volume. You can't outspend across the board, but you can outcare them, even outspend them on the top 10 of your Dream 100 or the top 100 of your Dream 100 or all of your Dream 100, right? And the national player is sending some of those same 100 people generic automated email, and you're sending them a pizza cutter. So who do you think gets the call back? Big companies are great at scale, right? They're great at sending out the generic stuff, but they're terrible at personal. A small shop is the reverse. And so what we want to do is take advantage of that.
yeah,
And you just take the cream off of the milk, right? You get the ones that are the most valuable clients because you go narrow, you get personal, and you connect with them in structurally a way that they can't do it. You know their name, you know their business. You can show up in their office with donuts. And that's not a disadvantage. It's a superpower.
yeah. A list of 100 is definitely a superpower. And the bonus of the whole thing is that when you build a relationship before you sell, you don't just close more, you close better clients. Think about
Yeah.
who responds to a desperate cold pitch versus who responds to a guy who's been showing up. Like that desperate pitch, the person who responds to this, they're not going to be a good client.
They're
But if you've
always
been
going to be
being
the
real,
most price sensitive
oh my
clients,
God,
right? That's
oh my
the ones
God,
who respond to the most annoying outreach. They're always going to be the most price sensitive
can
clients.
I get that for 50 cents? 50 cents? How about 50 cents? Can you take 25 cents off per user?
If I remove this bullet point, how much can you reduce my monthly
Yeah.
fee, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. The cold pitch attracts price shopper, the guy collecting the 3 quotes to beat you down on the rate. The relationship attracts a client who values being valued. You stop fishing for those cheapest fish and you start landing the ones you actually want to work with.
So here's the question. How do we do this effectively? How did Tim make this work with the pizza cutter? Like you laid out, how can someone run this themselves starting this week with a spreadsheet and a limited budget for the first few
Oh,
steps?
oh, you want me to give them the actual playbook, Jeff? You
Actual
want,
playbook, man.
oh my
We want
God.
things we can use on this. This isn't about theory, man. This is about actual stuff that makes your business grow. So what do we do?
So let's talk about what Tim did with the pizza cutter. We're gonna lay it out so you can run it yourself starting tomorrow. So there are 5 moves, and you can start move 1 this afternoon. You can start it as soon as you watch this podcast. And you definitely want to pay attention to move 4, the giving, because that's the pizza cutter move. And it's a part that everybody skips, but it's the part that actually works. It's the part that actually gets you noticed. So you have to pick your list. That's the very first thing. You have to pick your list and you start with 10. You don't need to start with 100. I know it's called the Dream 100. I know it's called the Dream 100. You can start with 10. You pick 10 and don't overthink the number. Open a spreadsheet, write down 10 dream clients you'd be thrilled to land right now, real businesses, real names, the ones that fit who you serve best, like the technology that you know best. The ones that if you landed them, it would change your year. Shoot, it would change your business forever. And get those 10 moving. And then the next 10.
The discipline here is to resist to make the list huge. 100 names you do nothing with is worthless. If you can just get the 10 names. The reason that we say 100 is it's good to push yourself to find as many as you can. And when we do this, people typically come up with maybe 50, 60 names, and you start with the top 10. But the point of it is narrowing. Narrowing is the strategy. Narrowing is the purpose. That's how you stand apart from everybody else.
That's it. And now move 2. So now we go to the next step. And you have to have 2 offers ready before you reach out. You need 2 things to invite people to. A core offer, that's your full managed services agreement, that's a whole kit and caboodle, everything. The thing you really want them to buy. And then you need, we call it an EPO, but it's an entry point offer. You need that entry point offer, which is something small and easy to say yes to: a network assessment, a security review, a one-time project, something that that is not hard for them to just say, let's try that out. Think of it this way. The core offer is marriage. The entry point is a first date. Most people aren't ready to get married to a guy that they just met, but they'll go on a first date. And I know you want them to get married right away, but really, give them an opportunity to have a date. Some are going to skip straight to the core offer, and that's fine. That's okay too. But always have an easy way for them to say yes, for them to get started.
Another way to think about that is just to know what the next step is when you're talking to people. What is the next step? Where do you go? You want to know what you want them to do. And the reason this matters so much for outreach is that it changes what you're asking for. You're not pestering a stranger to sign a long-term contract. You're inviting a business you've been building a relationship with to take one small, low-risk step with you. And it's a completely different, much easier conversation.
Always. 100%. Now, move 3, you got to warm them up. The first touches are about being remembered, not about getting a meeting. See, people are never going to forget this pizza cutter thing. They're never going to forget it because he calls up and he goes, hey, I'm Tim, the guy who's saying pizza cutter. Oh, I got a pizza cutter guy on the phone. It's so funny when he was telling the story. So this is where you flip from cold to warm. And the key is to take the pressure off the early touches. The goal of the touch is not a sale. It is not even a meeting. It's just to start being a name they recognize. So you connect on LinkedIn, you send a personal note, you send a short no ask introduction, you like and comment their posts, you start showing up in their world consistently, asking for nothing. And don't forget the math, because the math works. 8 to 10 touches before they really know you. So the early ones are deposits. You're not withdrawing yet. Most salespeople, owners, people that are going after this stuff, they quit after 1 or 2 touches because nothing happened. And of course, nothing happened. You're on touch 2 of 10. What do you expect?
How many times we talk to people who send these emails and they send
Oh
an
my God.
email and they expect somebody to come back to them, right? It doesn't happen that way. And the sequence, frankly, is deliberate. You have soft touches or social connection, the helpful note, and they make your name familiar. And it's that familiarity that gets the email opened. And the open email is what gets your call answered. You're not skipping the cold call. You're earning the warm one touch by touch so that when the phone finally rings, you're not a stranger.
And that's the whole thing. You don't want to be a stranger. You want to get that first date. You want to get that first date. You got to warm them up, right? Now, move forward is you have to give before you ask and make the gift about them, not about you. Oh my God. I like how many times, Jeff, how many times do you have to say that?
Yeah. No, people don't get it at all, right? It's like
They
even with
roll
the
you.
pizza cutter, everybody thinks that you put your own logo on it. But
Yeah.
real magic is when you put their logo on it.
Yeah. And if worse comes to worse, you put no logo on it.
Yeah, you don't have to put a logo on
I
it.
guess.
But the point is, but
But
it's that
but
mindset, it's that thinking of
yeah,
everybody wants to like bombard with your logo. But what if you just put their logo on it? What if you made it about them?
yeah. And so when you start giving and they kind of know your name, first with content, then you send them something genuine or something useful. And like it would be funny if he sent him the pizza cutter and then the next day he sent him uncut pizza and then he called them.
Might even work better. Yeah.
So you can send him a short report, a breakdown of a problem or of a business problem like the one that they're facing right now. You got to put their world first, not your world, not your logos, not your services. And then you go further and you send something physical, something they'll remember. Here's a rule that makes it or breaks it. The gift has to be about them, not about you. A coffee mug with your company logo on it, it creates zero obligation. A mug with their logo on it, that's a whole different story. Something with no strings attached, like that pizza cutter with no logo on it, beautiful. That's a gift. And gift triggers something that's hardwired in all of us called reciprocity. And when someone gives us something, we feel a pull, like a deep desire to give
Obligation.
back,
Yeah.
an obligation to give back. And even if it's just time on a call, we feel that. Now, I remember I was talking to Rob Ray. He said somebody sent him a $200 fire pit and he wanted to call the person so bad, but he didn't know who it was. So he said, if that person called me anytime, I'm going to give them time. And that's the genius of
And
what,
think about it, it's
yeah,
$200. It
yeah,
that's not to think about your cost of client acquisition. It's that spending $200 on a prospect isn't a high amount of money to spend, right? So like, the pizza cutter isn't really the point, right? It's the principle that you're investing in
yeah,
them. You're building that reciprocity. And as soon as it's for you, it's not going to work anymore. So you give first, give something about them, and then you can have the ask.
now to move 5. Now you can make the call. I know you wanted to make the call 3 moves ago, but you can make the call. You can make the call. Now you can drop in, right? And keep that cadence going forever. You've earned it now. Hey, it's Joe. I'm the one who sent you the pizza cutter. I've been enjoying your posts on about the new location. I'd love to grab 30 minutes. That's going to get answered. Or skip the phone and do what I love to do. It drives everybody else crazy, but I just show
Sure,
up
you're
in
so
person
good
and
at
I
this.
bring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, I
Just
just
show
show
up,
up.
right?
I just show up and I bring stuff. And 3 rules for a drop it. Okay. And this is key. You have to bring a bribe. Actually, you have to bring multiple bribes because you may have to bribe the person at the front desk and you have to bribe your way up, right? And be honest about the fact that it's a bribe. It's, hey, I got a bribe for you. It could be donuts, it could be coffee, it could be, but if you bring coffee, bring the good stuff and know exactly who you're there to see. And know your goal isn't to corner them into an appointment. It's just to raise the quality of the relationship from, oh, this is that guy online to, oh, I remember you. You said this about my article that I published last week,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And that makes the whole thing pay off. You because you never really have to stop this. You're maintaining the relationship. Whether they say
Yeah, no,
yes,
the point is that you do continue. It's not that you
yeah,
don't have to stop it. You continue communicating, but in a thoughtful, meaningful, valuable way.
yes. And that's the whole thing.
So there's one thing I want
Yeah.
to bring
Yeah.
up though, because there's that first meeting, and a lot of people get this wrong too, because they think that the first meeting is about sales. And you have to think about it. If you've never met this person, then the first meeting is meeting the person. It's really a networking meeting. Even if you eventually want to get to a sales meeting, and you do want to get to a sales meeting, you can even be open about wanting to get to a sales meeting. You don't have to hide it. But that first meeting is about meeting. It's about building trust, right? It's about making the relationship work. And it's not hard. It doesn't take a lot. You can think of it as like a 15-minute thing, but you really want to get to know each other before you jump into here are my services, come by, because that doesn't work. And so this is also where you can bring in some of your easy entry point stuff. You can share some of your content. And so think of it that way, right? Pizza cutter gets you the first call, the cadence gets you the clients who 2 years from now is looking for somebody when their IT guy finally gets the ball or drops the ball. And what we find is that if you're focusing on that Dream 100, you're going to get a couple of clients now, and you're going to stay in touch with people over time. You get a couple of clients in a few months and a couple of clients later, right? So it builds, but you keep working on the first 10, work on the next 10, work on the next 10, and you just keep going forward. And that will build you your next $1 million easy.
Yeah. And so let me put it back together. Jeff said the very first meeting is a trust meeting. So have that trust meeting where you're building trust with that person. But when you meet with them for the first time, have that first easy date offer, warm them up with no ask touches until they know your name. Give them something that's about them, not you. Then call, then keep showing up forever. And that's it. No dialer, no spray, just a small list and more care than anyone else is willing to give. You Jeff said it before, you can out care the big guys. You cannot out spray them.
So the Dream 100 gets you in the room, right? It's not going to close the deal. And this is where a lot of MSP owners do all this beautiful relationship work, and then they blow it the second they're in the meeting because they revert back to that pitch and the tech stack, right? So you want to talk to them about their problems, about their business, about how to solve
Mm,
those problems,
yeah.
right? And that's what prescriptive sales is all about in our pasta framework, is that you turn that warm meeting into a client who pays by talking about their problems and listening to their problems. And when you're filling the calendar with your Dream 100, you're talking about problems, you're following a pasta script, that's really what's going to make this happen. And you have to do it over time. It's got to be over time.
Always. I'll be straight with you. The relationship building, you can absolutely do that on your own. Where owners get stuck is the actual selling once they're in the room. Reading about it is easy. Doing it live with a real prospect and real money on the table, that's where most people freeze up, man.
So we have available to you. We'll put a link in the description to Crypto Sales. We'll put a link in the description to Dream 100. And then we also encourage you to take a look at the BSP readiness assessment, which we also call the scale assessment. But SEO has told me that I need to stop using scale and start using BSP. So there we go. It's your BSP readiness assessment. And you can go through that and look at how your MSP is structured for growth, where the weaknesses might be. It's completely free. And right, this is us dating. So you can go check out that first date. We're not even going to charge you for it. And then we can see if you need some help. We're here for you. If you want to just take the free stuff, just take the free stuff.
That sounds like a plan.
So go build your list. Start with 10, start with 20, but keep going deep with them. And if this was useful, subscribe. If not, subscribe your friend. We do this almost every week, and we will see you next time.